a live here at the Jamaica Information Service, our discussion program coming to you live on Facebook and YouTube. I am your host, Vaughn Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in wherever you are around the world. Thank you so much for your eyes. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Now, as we have your attention, do us a favor now, people. Share this video with a friend or two or 30,000 so we can have a very lively discussion. And don't forget to send in your questions so we can put them to today's guest. All right? Cool. Now, it is the perennial challenge. Person with tertiary education goals needs tertiary education funds. This problem sends many students into depression every year and has them majorly going into the fetal position on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? But if you're tuned into our show right now, then maybe it wasn't an accident. Maybe it's divine intervention, because I have a solution for you. Here's what I'm going to do. If you know somebody who has this problem right now, I'm going to pause for a moment to let you go tell your friend, your son, your daughter, niece, nephew, cousin, whoever, just to come tune in for the program. I'm just going to get like 30 seconds. All right, go on, go tell some people. Let's go. All right, that's enough. You must can tell everybody you need to know. Now. You tell your entire generation. All right, so here's what's happening. The Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission provides annual grants to tertiary students to help them pay for their education. And in case you didn't catch that the first time, I said the word grant, meaning that it's free money. They're giving it to you and they don't expect you to pay it back. All right. So here today to give us details is Miss Wendy Robertson. She's the manager for corporate affairs and communications at the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission. Welcome, Miss Robertson. Thank you so much for being here with us on our show today.
And thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, great. So a little background on the BGLC, just for persons who may not necessarily be familiar with the entity. What does it do and what role does it play in Jamaica?
All right. The BGLC stands for the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission. We're the regulatory arm of the government to regulate and control the activities of the gaming industry or the gambling industry. So we try to keep it above board. We ensure that licensees and operators are compliant, and we're also there to protect the consumers from any illicit promotions or activities. So we are the regulator for the gambling industry in Jamaica, in short.
All right. So if you love to go to these gaming houses or you spend a lot of time at the different entities where you're going with slot machines, that kind of thing, maybe you should get familiar. Go on the website, check out the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission. Find out a little bit more about how they are working to make sure that you have a very, very positive experience. You don't go to the place and feel like you get robbed or that kind of thing. Or more importantly, they are the persons you go to if you need redress, if you've had an issue, if you had something going on at a particular gaming, link up the BGLC.
You're correct. You're so correct. Any issues, problems that you encounter while being entertained in the industry, then you're invited to share the issues with us, and we'll do our best to address them.
So give me some background on the tertiary education grant. Talk to me about that now.
All right. So every year since 2014, we have opened up to tertiary level students the opportunity to apply for an education grant. So it's not a scholarship per se, it's a grant. And the value of this grant is $60,000. To date, we have provided over $100 million in scholarships over those years. And we have granted grants, so even grants to I think it's 1,800 students. So every year on average, we grant tertiary students to about 325 of them. Okay. 300 to 325 students will receive grants, have been receiving grants each year.
And that's how much did you mention? It's $60,000?
Right. So the value of the grant is $60,000.
All right, so there are people, 300, that means plenty of people can take advantage of this opportunity every year. It sounds really good. If you could use $60,000 towards your education, I think you might want to stay tuned to this program, all right? All right, so now is the obvious question. Who can apply?
All right, so we have a couple of eligibility criteria. First thing, you have to have a Jamaican citizen. First thing, you need a grade point average of no less than 2.75. Now, students, first year students going into university will not necessarily have a grade point average. And I'll tell you later what they will need to submit. So you need to be a Jamaican student, you need a grade point average. A key component of your eligibility is a writing assignment of 600 words. And I can later on we can also
get into that. Right, yes.
What that assignment is. And there are other things as well. You need a certified copy of a national ID. For first year students, as I had mentioned, you won't necessarily have a transcript, but we would need to see your CAPE or CXC results, as well as a copy of the letter that has given you entrance to the tertiary institution that you'll be attending in September. So those are some of the entry requirements
yes,
to get the grant.
So you have to be a Czech, you have to be a Jamaican citizen, you have to be accepted to a tertiary institution, one of our local tertiary institutions, have all your ducks in a row in terms of being able to demonstrate on paper that you have been accepted. And I suppose once you do that, you're already in the ballpark. Now, how does the application process itself go?
Well, how does it work? So it's all done online. We invite students to go to our application portal. You can find it at bglc.gov.jm, or you can go directly to the application portal, and that is BGLC Education.fund to go directly to the application portal. So all of these things need to be uploaded. Your picture ID, certified copy. I want to make note and make it clear to our listeners that we require a certified copy of a national ID. What we have been seeing so far is students uploading a copy of their school ID. That's not a national ID.
Okay.
So national ID is a passport or a voter's ID, or certainly a driver's license. Now, when we say a certified copy of a national ID, you need to photocopy the national ID and have a justice of the peace or notary public certify that copy of the national ID. All right? So we don't mean for you to just upload a copy of the ID.
Right.
It needs to be certified. I hope we make that clear.
Right.
Because what we've been seeing so far, again, are students just uploading a copy of their passport page or their voter's ID. That is not sufficient.
It has to be certified.
It has to be certified. And it's very clear on the website, certified copy of a national ID. And it's also very clear that a school ID is not a national ID.
Okay, so you hear that, people? Don't just put up the ID and just, cross your fingers and hope for the best. You have to make the extra effort. Find a JP. Shouldn't be too difficult. Find a JP and have that person have that person certify, rather, the ID for you. That's a simple price to pay. Yeah, I mean, small price to pay is to be able to collect $60,000 towards your education. All right, seems like a good move to me. All right, so let's just recap. Persons have to go to bglceducation.fund. That's where they'll find the application portal.
That's where they'll encounter the application portal. Now there is a mini sort of screening when they get to the portal. We want age, name, email address, whether or not you have already received the grant, because students may receive the grant up to 2 times.
Okay.
Right, so there's that little screening. Once you pass the test, then we take you to the application portal. And there you do your uploading, your references, your certified copy of your national ID, your transcript for those who are required to upload their transcript, and the essay or on that section of the portal, and all of those things need to be uploaded.
Right. All right. So when is the deadline for this particular year now? When are we looking to see all the applications come in by?
July 14, 2023. So we have just a little bit under a month left to receive applications.
You hear that, people? All right. Like I said, July 14, you have a month. But before we even go there, you did mention a writing assignment. Let's get into that, because some persons might be a little intimidated. They might feel that they need to go get some help, something like that, so that they can put this essay together nice and good. So let's talk about that.
All right. So a lot of persons will be judged on this writing assignment, and it can make or break your application. Again, we'll get over 1,000 applicants, and we're only going to select 325. So you have to be very aware that the writing assignment is very important, and you need to treat it with the importance it deserves. Now I'm going to read it, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So the topic is: you have been invited to make a presentation on responsible gambling at an upcoming conference on responsible gambling in Jamaica. The government of Jamaica, Rise Life Management, and the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission will be attending. We're asking you to prepare a speech which addresses at least one social impact of gambling, one economic impact of gambling, and provide 2 recommendations to boost responsible gambling messages locally. So there's a lot of information out there available on the web. Go do your research. Go to our website. Information is there. But I just want to caution our listeners and students that we have a tool that has become available very recently, and we want to caution you that the use of artificial intelligence.
I was just about to ask that question. I was like, yeah, this sounds like the perfect thing to just throw it in ChatGPT or one of these any number of AI tools and be like, let's spit out that essay, because come on, who has time for that, right?
You can use it to assist your research, but you have to use it in your own words. So the use is strictly prohibited in completing the assignment. And once you determine that the assignment has been AI generated, the applicant will be disqualified. So that's just a warning. Use it wisely. You can help. You can use it to help you do the research, but you have to put the essay in your own words.
All right. Quickly, just to recap, guys, we're here discussing the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission, their tertiary education grant. This is a grant they provide every year to tertiary students, or those of us who are always looking for funds to finance our tertiary education. This is a great opportunity for you. It's a great opportunity for you to apply and take advantage of this thing. If you have any questions, there's something that you missed, something that you want us to go over, don't be afraid. Drop it in the chat, drop it in the comments, and we'll try to go over it to make sure that we give the information to you. The right information, and make it as clear and as comprehensible as possible. All right, this is your show. This is an interactive experience. You want to be able to interact with you. Miss Robertson is here. If you have any questions about the BGLC and specifically about the Tertiary Education Fund, drop it in the comments. Ask her. She'll answer you right away. All right, this is what we want for this experience. But okay, let's just go right back to that. She was just saying that a part of the requirements for the grant, I should say, is that you have to complete a 600-word essay, right? And just in case you missed that part, no AI assistance. Well, of course, you can use it to help you, help you to generate some research ideas, give you pointers, that kind of thing. But if you write the whole essay with AI, instant disqualification. All right, be better than that. Don't be that guy. Nobody wants to be that guy. All right, so use this opportunity to take advantage of this. So let's go over the question one more time. What's the question for the essay?
All right, so you need to prepare a speech which addresses at least one social impact of gambling, one economic impact of gambling, and provide 2 recommendations to boost responsible gambling messages locally. There's lots of information on the web, both on our website and on the internet, about responsible gambling. It's part of our mandate as a regulator to promote and highlight responsible gambling activities and tips. So the information is there. You just need to do your research.
All right, there you have it, people. So you're gonna have to work a little bit for this, and I think it's a great initiative. Yeah, I mean, it's only right that if you're going to benefit from this tertiary grant, you should be able to at least learn a little bit more about what the BGLC does, and more importantly, the impact of gaming and responsible gaming, and why you need to pay attention to this and that kind of thing, the impacts it can have on our overall society. Okay, Christine CC Frank, she's asking, hi, good day. Is there a grant for kids going into 11th grade? I could really do with some help to buy some stuff for back to school. I don't think the BGLC's grant covers high schoolers at the moment. What, maybe
That's
something
correct.
for the future?
That's correct. We don't cover high school students. This grant is only open to students who are going into university come September, as well as 2nd to 4th year students. That's it.
All right. So,
of a
Christy,
tertiary institution.
Christy, not to worry. You've given me an idea. I'm going to look around and see if I can find some more persons offering scholarships for persons at that level, and see if we can have a program just for you so we can get more information to you. In the meantime, if you know somebody who's going into college or somebody who's already in college and needs that help to get that to cover their overall tuition expenses, etc., just shoot them put them onto this video so that they can understand and they can benefit from BGLC's tertiary education grant. All right. Thank you so much for your comment, by the way. I really appreciate the fact that you're tuning in, and hopefully this information through you can become beneficial to somebody else. All right. All right. I always said repetition is the key to learning, you know, Wendy. So we're going to go back again. Let's talk about who can apply for this grant.
All right. Happy to repeat the information.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be a Jamaican citizen. You have to be a student about to enter university, so either first year or 2nd, 3rd, or 4th year student. You must have a GPA. Certainly for the 2nd to 4th year students, you must have a GPA of 2.75 minimum on a GPA scale of 2 to 4. You must have that GPA. You need to submit 2 references. I did mention that earlier, but yes. 2 references need to be submitted, and they too need to be certified. You need to submit a certified copy of a national ID, and remember, national IDs are either passport, a driver's license, or a voter's ID.
Right.
Again, you need to take a photocopy of those documents and have a JP certify the photocopy. And of course, everything needs to be legible. And also the writing assignment, the 600-word writing assignment. Now, a word about the writing assignment, as we just mentioned, cannot be AI generated. 2, it has to be 600 words, no more nor no less. So if we determine that your essay is 559 words, disqualified.
Problem.
If you go 602, 605, all right, but much more than that will also lead to disqualification. So
well,
that
it's a
is
lesson,
very important.
It is a lesson that you will need when you're in tertiary institution. You need to be able to follow instructions and pay attention to the guidelines that you're working with. So if this says 600 words, don't you dare go write a 1,200 word essay thinking that I'm going to show the BGLC how bright and brilliant I am, how many big words I know, that kind of thing. No, they asked you for a 600 word essay. All right, don't be extra. Don't be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Just write your 600-word essay. Do your best. Make sure it's the best essay you can ever write, and then let the chips fall. You know what I'm saying?
What you just said is very important. This whole process is really about following instructions. You have to follow the instructions, be guided. All of the tips are there on the website, and it's very, very clear. As I had mentioned, a lot of people have been, so far not, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but we have been seeing applications in which school IDs are uploaded. And we have been very clear that a school ID is not a national ID. So for those of you who have yet to send in your application, and again, we encourage you to do this early Don't wait until the last minute. Remember, it's a national ID and not a copy of a school ID.
Right.
And the copy must be certified.
A quick question from Donna Benbow Preston. Thank you, Donna, for your question. She's saying, with respect to the references, do you provide the names or actual references? I think.
Do you provide the name or actual references? Okay. What we're looking for are the names of 2 references. So the website tells you who the references can be. It lists bank manager, JP. There are a number of references. So types of references. So what we would want is the name of the reference, the person's address, the person's contact information
yes.
and their email address. Sorry, not their location address,
Right, yes.
but their email address. So that, I hope that answers that question.
Right,
The
Donna,
person's name, their email address, and telephone number.
So Donna, if that doesn't answer your question, just drop another one in the chat and we will try our best to answer it more concisely. All right, no problem. All right. Let me go on. Yes, so can just reinforce persons can benefit more than once, right? So because there are many persons are in situations, for example, if you are benefiting from a particular scholarship, that kind of thing, they're going to say, oh, you can't access another one or something like that.
Right.
So talk to me about BGLC's stand where that is concerned.
Okay, so each person may access and apply for the grant 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get it, not only apply for, you may be awarded the scholarship more than once. So if you apply this year and you're awarded the scholarship, you may apply again next year and be awarded the scholarship. But beyond that, there will be no more awarding of scholarship.
Just 2. I mean, you have to
Sorry,
be considerate. Grant. Yes,
yeah.
yes, grant. Let's make sure we make that very specific and very clear. It's a grant. And so just appreciate that as much as you indeed are very much in need of these funds, there are just as many other persons, students, that kind of thing, who need it as well. So if you benefited once, twice, then hey, that's good enough. You can allow another person to be able to benefit and pursue their tertiary aspirations as well. All right, so keep that in mind. And once again, how much is the grant worth?
$60,000. So again, to note, the grant is sent to your institution. The tertiary institution at which you are enrolled. It goes and is credited to your account. So students will not get the grant in their hands, or it won't be sent to their bank account. It goes, or we won't issue checks to students. We will send the money to the school, and the school will credit your account. So again, the grant is only in support or only to support tuition of student applicants. It's not for books or computer or anything else. It's to go towards tuition.
All right, there you have it. That's grant goes towards tuition. All right. So this is a great opportunity, needless to say. I mean, $60,000 towards your overall tertiary expenses, well, specifically your tuition, right? That, I mean, that speaks for itself if you ask me. And once again, how many persons are we looking to benefit this particular, or how many persons generally benefit each year or in each tranche?
All right, in the realm of 300 students. So last year, 300 students benefited. This year, 325 will benefit.
All right, there you go. So there are 325 spots available. All right, get to writing. You don't have a lot of time. It's July 14 next month. Before you know it, by the time you blink, it's there upon you. You have a good amount of time now. Sit down, really focus, write that essay, put your application together, and see if you can benefit from this grant. All right. And, let me just allow you to say a little bit, Wendy, about the value of this and the overall impact that this has had on that you have been able to see, and why BGLC continues to make this effort to provide this kind of funding to our youngsters out there, our persons pursuing their tertiary education.
All right, it's part of what we believe is responsible and right to assist our students to achieve their higher education goals. As I had mentioned, we started in 2014, and to date we have assisted over 1,800 students, and we have spent just over $100 million to do so since 2014. So education, we believe, is an area that's very critical to our economy and to the individuals themselves. So we felt that this certainly is an area in which we can help our students to benefit and again to achieve those higher education goals.
Let me be kind and see if we can give the persons who are going to write these essays a little bit of a head start. Let's have a quick conversation about the concept of responsible gaming. What does it mean from the perspective of the BGLC? Because responsible gaming, one could almost seem like to some people that is kind of an oxymoron. Responsible gaming, responsible gambling. Oh, that makes sense. I don't understand that. Let's talk about it.
All right. So responsible, the two terms are used: responsible gambling, responsible gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Gaming can mean something else. It can mean playing
video games, that kind of thing.
Gambling is when you spend money for a chance to win something or to win more money.
Mm-hmm.
That is a simple meaning of gambling. We believe that gambling should be a form of entertainment and nothing more.
Mm-hmm.
So just like how you go to a football game to be entertained, or you go to a soccer fete to be entertained, or you go to the movies to be entertained, in the same way, gambling, going into gaming lounges, etc., should be for entertainment and nothing more.
Mm-hmm.
It should not be something that takes over your life. It should not be something in which you use critical household funds to...
don't expect you to be taking the rent money or the children's school fee.
Right, to fund. So you shouldn't be using your rent money to fund your gambling habit. So it shouldn't be a habit that, as I said, overtakes your life and controls you. It is something that you should control, and you're just doing it for fun.
Mm-hmm.
So we believe that you need to do so responsibly. And we have tips. There are tips on our website. There are 12 tips that we promote. First of all, persons must be 18 years and over to gamble locally. Mm-hmm. That's the legal gambling age.
It's an adult activity.
Adult
right?
activity. Second of all, you need to know your limits. So know your limits, set a time. I'm only doing this for 2 hours, etc. Don't walk with your debit and credit card, because that just allows you to spend.
Right.
And we have a few more. Not all of them come to mind right away, but those are some of the key ones. So we promote responsible gambling. Again, do it for fun, do it for entertainment. Don't allow it to run your life, and know your limits. Know your limits.
All right, there you have it. So if you are, there are many persons, I think gambling addiction is perhaps one of the less known or less discussed addictions that we have out there. Many persons, when we talk about addictions, naturally, narcotics, drugs, those are the things that tend to jump readily to mind.
Right.
And I think in Jamaica in particular, I don't know that we discuss the gambling addiction to the extent that perhaps it needs. There are many persons for whom gambling is truly an obsession. It's something that, I mean, I don't know if, I've heard the stories of persons taking the rent money, taking the school fee money, the children's money to go and gamble because they just couldn't get up from the table or whatever location they were, and they were just overdoing it and that kind of thing, which is why we have to have the discussion, which is why I'm especially glad that they're incorporating this conversation within the whole overall application process for this tertiary grant, because more people need to know about it, and it's something that's not necessarily getting the kind of it doesn't grab the headlines as much, but it's no less insignificant. It's very important. All right. So in terms of help and support and that kind of thing, what do you guys recommend from BGLC's perspective for persons to, if they're having a challenge or if they feel like, okay, maybe I need some help? You know what I mean? What do you recommend?
All right, so we are a big time, almost lifetime partner of Rise Life Management. We're partners, and they handle the promotion of responsible gambling for us. So they will go to schools to discuss or talk about underage gambling prevention. They will have sessions with guidance counselors and teachers and parents, and they'll go out into communities. So at sessions like these, they discuss some of the warning signs and what to do about it. Because crucially, it's important to stop it in its track before they reach to adulthood, and then it becomes
a full-blown addiction,
full-blown issue. Rise Life has, or I would say manages, a self-exclusion program. So persons who believe that they have an issue, have identified and want help, they can call Rise Life Management and say, I need to stay out of a gambling hall for the next 2 months. They can give their time. It's voluntary, and they can set their own time. So it can be 2 months, a year, 3 years, up to a lifetime ban that is self-imposed on the individual or by the individual. Now, where Rise Life comes into the picture is that they take the person's information, name, address, email address, telephone number. I think banking information is also proffered, and they send that out to the gaming lounges, and along with a picture of the person, and that information is there. So when the person decides to turn up, want a cheat day, and decides to turn up, then they're preventing from entering the establishment.
I didn't even realize it gets that deep. They actually go and put your picture up at the gaming hall and say, no, come on, man. What are you doing here?
It has
you know this isn't good for you.
Yeah, it really gets to that level. And what they also do is every year, employees of gaming lounges are given training sessions to help them to be able to identify the signs of persons who are, I don't want to say addicted, but those who are problem gamblers, in other words.
I hope you're paying attention, people. These are useful tips that you can add to that essay that you need to write for the application, all right? We got a quick question from Kareem Bradford online, jumped on. It says, is this grant only for students currently in university, or students who are about to start university may apply? We answered it again, but hey, this is why we're here. We're going to answer that question for you. Go ahead,
sure.
Wendy.
It's for both. It's for those who are about to enter university, so first-year students, as well as it's for those already in university. So second, third, and fourth-year students are eligible to apply. Now, another thing to point out, you may be no older than 26 years old as at September 2023. So if come September you're going to be 27, then you will not be eligible.
All right. Unfortunately, that just means you might have to keep your ears out for another kind of scholarship. All right. Just won't be able to take advantage of this one. But hey, that's how it goes sometimes. But all right, that doesn't mean you can't channel the information to somebody else who might need the help. All right. So you hear that, Kareen Bradford saying, so yes, so you can apply if you're about to enter university, or if you're already there as well. And like as we mentioned before, the grant is valued at $60,000. Jump on to BGLC Education.fund. Is that right?
Right. BGLC Education.fund.
Right.
That's the address of the application portal. You may also access the application portal via the BGLC's website, and that's bglc.gov.jm. Go to the top of the screen, top right hand, you will see the words Education Grant, so you can click there, and it will then route you to the application portal.
Right, so there you have it. You know where to go. You can jump on, fill out the application form, acquire all the different documents and so on that you'll need, put your application together, send it in. Which once again, so submitting the applications is all digital, right? Just reinforce that for me.
It's all online. Everything is online. Don't send anything to the BGLC offices. It will be automatically disqualified.
The only challenge I have with that, because you have some persons who may not necessarily be, so they might not have the access. You know what I mean? I know some persons like, hey, I don't own a machine or a
No,
printer
man,
or whatever
they'll
the case may
find
be.
it. There are lots of cafes out there.
Okay.
At that level,
Mhm.
I'm sure students will have already been exposed to the online
Right.
atmosphere. So we don't foresee that that's going to be an issue.
All right, so there you go, people. Acquire all the different documents and so on that you'll need. Put your application together, submit it via email, and it's submitted via the application portal itself. You upload everything that you're supposed to do to the portal.
Via the application portal, that's correct.
All right, so there you go, people. I think I think we have covered everything, but you know what? Repetition is always great. So we're gonna do it one last time for the benefit of persons who may just jumped on, maybe like Karina or so. All right, we're gonna go over it one more time. I'm gonna do it rapid fire so we can just move quickly through it. All right, first of all, this is BGLC's Tertiary Education Grant. All right, who can apply?
All right, so you need to be a Jamaican citizen. You need to have a GPA of 2.75 minimum. You need to submit national ID. Again, a national ID can be one of three: voter's ID, a passport, or a driver's license, and they have to be copied, and the copies need to be certified. You need to submit the names of two references, so the names, email addresses, telephone number of two references, and the website details or specifies who can be a reference. And then you need to submit a writing essay of a writing assignment, which is an essay of no more than 600 words. No more, no less.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the main
Right.
things that
And
the
it's all
main
spelled out.
criteria.
It's all spelled out at bglceducation.fund. Jump online, that's bglceducation.fund, and you get all the information you need to go through all of that. And remember, once again, you have to be no older than
26 years old as at September 2023.
All right.
And remember to follow the instructions. Read the information on the website carefully. Everything is there. Read it. Perhaps you can have somebody else read it for you if you have trouble interpreting the information that is there.
Mhm.
But go through and read the instructions, and you will not have an issue. You won't have any problem with the application.
Right, just remember this is for up to 27 years old, all right? So 18 to 27, and you have to be turning 27 as of July.
18 to 20. 18 to you may be no older than 26 years old
Right.
at September 2023.
Right. My bad on that one. It's okay. All right. And remember, no AI generated essay. All right. Do not try to cheat the writing assignment. We spoke at length about this. Focus on doing a good job. Do the research. Do the work. Write a good essay. Don't go try and make ChatGPT write it for you. There have ways of finding out if you did that, and if you did, then instant disqualification. All right. All right. So how many students are we looking to benefit this time around?
325 students.
All right. Deadline
is July 14.
All right, so you have a little time, July 14. I'd say get on it now. This is a great opportunity. Take full advantage of it. It is a grant. Free money for you to be able to pursue your tertiary education. All right, I don't think it comes any better than that. All right. Lastly, I'm just going to give you one more opportunity to just let persons know what the BGLC has got going on and why the role that they play, and why you guys are, how you guys are working to protect and work on behalf of our Jamaican people.
All right, so we're the regulatory arm, or the government's regulatory arm, to control what goes on in the gaming or gambling industry in Jamaica. So we regulate, we give licenses, we ensure that our licensees and operators are compliant with the law. The specific regulation or legislation is the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. So we go by the legislation in regulating the industry. We also ensure that consumers are protected from any illicit operations or promotions that are promoted out there. So consumer protection is also key. We do that primarily through our code of conduct as it relates to responsible gambling that licensees and operators are entitled to abide by. We also work in partnership with Rise Life Management to ensure that persons are counseled, become aware of the ills of gambling. Ills is a strong word, but we have responsible gaming tips, and Rise Life has programs to which you can volunteer in order to reduce any harms from gambling.
All right. Quick question from Sabrina Roland. She's asking, should the essay have a title?
The essay, let me read to you what it is that we look for. I need to put on my glasses, if you don't mind.
No, fine. Let's go ahead.
So, the essay will be evaluated based on correct formatting for a formal essay, the correct use of grammar, spelling, punctuation, creativity, organization, and by that we mean key ideas need to be presented in a logical and structured manner, and the quality of the content. So those are the things that we look out for when evaluating your essay. So again, I'll go through those again. Correct formatting, the correct formatting for a formal essay, correct use of grammar, spelling, punctuation, creativity, and the organization of key ideas, which need to be presented in a logical and structured manner.
All right, people. I should think that's all we need. Well, if you have any questions, hey, you know what? This is that kind of show. Now is the time. Drop them in the comments. We're about to wrap though, but if you have any questions, shoot them now so that we can ask Wendy, and then we'll be able to get the right information that you need so you can successfully take advantage of this initiative. All right. With that said, however, I think it is time for us to wrap. Thank you to everyone who tuned into our discussion, especially those of you who send in your questions and your comments. And if you have a question and we didn't get to answer it in discussion, not to worry, drop it in the comments all the same. We'll go through them afterwards and we'll be able to answer it. If we can't answer it, we will get in touch with Wendy so you can get the right information. All right. No, well, once again, you can jump onto BGLCeducation.fund. That's our online portal for the tertiary grant, so you can get all the information that you need right there. Okay. And now remember, I want you to know that our audience plays a major part in our show. So if there's anyone in particular you'd like us to have in studio, let us know. We'll try to have that person in studio as soon as possible. All right. And don't forget to follow us on social media on all the different platforms. We're everywhere. That's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We're all there. Just type in Jamaica Information Service. Can't miss us. We're there. And while you're at it, check out the BGLC as well online on all their social media platforms. Learn more about responsible gaming, the different work that the agency does to ensure that persons who do go out and gamble can have a very positive experience. And if you are teetering along the sides of addiction, they'll find ways that you can get help. All right. Now, we do this every week live on Facebook and YouTube. I've been your host, Vaughn Davis, and this has been Studio 58A Live. Thank you so much for joining us, and please have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care now.